Well, guys, some big news from Washington. Today, House Republicans held a vote on opening a formal inquiry into President Biden's impeachment. The whole thing is ridiculous. If you want to derail Biden, you don't give him an impeachment, you give him a microphone.
Absolute hilarity ensued. The funniest bunch of people you're going to find anywhere. That late night TV crowd. Of course, that was half true, wasn't it? Hey, have you seen the dancing nutcracker people at the White House? The dancing nutcrackers, have you seen them? They're taking the show on the road. They're taking that show on the road now. That is to say, they're going to go block traffic on highways, demand a ceasefire. Not in Ukraine, mind you, where hundreds of thousands have been killed. They're good with that one. Because, you know, Joe Biden got millions of dollars from the Ukrainians. And now the military-industrial complex, remember them? They're loving it. They're getting 90% of the money we're forking over to Ukraine, according to our Secretary of State, which means that just 10% of the, what is it going to be now, 170 billion, is being skimmed by the Ukrainians to buy chateaus and yachts and airplanes and things, but pay no attention to that. If we had a news media, they'd be covering that, but unfortunately we do not. Kind of sad. Kind of sad indeed. Yes, sir. Well, welcome. It is Thursday. And somebody called it Friday Eve today, because they're already looking for this Friday. They're looking for the weekend already. We just like working. Work. Hello, boys. How are you? I missed you last night. We remain at 888-630-9625, 888-630-9625. And so many wacky stories to share with you once again today. The Democrats, they paddle and paddle 24 hours a day, and their crazy juice never stops. I was telling you about the Democrats putting up a Satan display in the State House in Iowa, of all places. Iowa. And the Democrats, they love Satan. And it's the Christmas season, so they love Satan more than ever because that's their thing. Well, I've got another story for you today because they've got another school Satan thing. They want to get the children, you know, how much for the children? And they're bringing Satan to school again. You know about the after-school Satan clubs that the Democrats run across the country. Well, I have an update. They got Satan in the State House for Christmas in Iowa because they can. And now they're coming for the kids in school. Crazy wackadoodle-doo, these people. And let me say, did you see the story out of Virginia that a kid showed up at school with a bag, I guess it's like a Ziploc bag, full of gummies. And the kiddies ate the gummies, right? The kiddies ate the gummies. And it turns out that the gummies had fentanyl all over them, fentanyl. And they weren't laced, like made with fentanyl built in. But apparently mom and dad gave their kid, or maybe the kid grabbed a bag off the kitchen counter or something, and mom and dad had a bag full of fentanyl. And when somebody, parents or kid, put the gummies in the plastic bag, the Ziploc bag, the fentanyl rubbed off, and then lots of kiddies at school hospitalized because Democrats. Speaking of Democrats, Kamala Harris, are you familiar with her? Not the brightest knife in the constellation. She is not so good. And she's a heartbeat away from the guy who is also a heartbeat away. But Kamala Harris, news story today in the radical left-wing Politico. Kamala Harris pushes White House to be more sympathetic toward Palestinians because, you know, the terrorists need love too. And it is the Christmas season, which they don't celebrate except by murdering people. And it's Hanukkah there, which they like to celebrate also by murdering people and torturing and kidnapping and raping people. You know, they're terrorists, after all, radical Islamic jihadi terrorists. And Kamala Harris, she's been pushing from the inside to be more kind to the terrorists. Because the Democrat Party, the party that gave us the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan and Nathan Bedford Forrest, that gave us Robert Byrd, the senator from West Virginia. They gave us the Students for a Democratic Society, and they gave us all the terrorist groups. from the 1960s and kidnapping and, like Patty Hearst, the Symbionese Liberation Army. Democrats, those are Democrats. And killing armored car guards and police officers, and then they get tenure at major American universities. The Democrats, they love terrorists because it's part of their thing. They're the left. They love death more than we love life. They're crazy, I think, is the shorthand of all that. So we got that going. Oh, speaking of terrorists, where is it? In Denmark, Danish police arrest multiple individuals suspected of a massive terror plot. And it was in action, and they nabbed them. Islamist Danish police arrest multiple individuals suspected of terrorist plot in coordinated action. So we got that. That didn't happen here. And in the meantime, Democrats shut down traffic on a major freeway in California, the 110, if you know the Los Angeles area. Protesters blocked traffic on the 110 freeway in downtown L.A. It led to some fisticuffs like this, and people throwing punches out there on the highway because people were trying to get someplace, but liberals laid down in traffic because they're mental dwarves. Can you say mental dwarves, or do you have to say mental little people? Ever say mental little? Like mental Billy Bartys. Anybody remember Billy Barty? He was a famous little guy. He was an actor in Hollywood. But I want to get into those stories today because, and kind of big news, the House of Representatives yesterday approved the Joe Biden impeachment inquiry. And amazing stuff. The New York Times headline, House approves Biden impeachment inquiry as GOP hunts for an offense. The New York Times is as corrupt as Hamas. I think they're pro-Hamas, aren't they? They're as corrupt as Hamas. They are not a journalistic organization. They're a radical political front group posing as a journalistic organization, very much like the Washington Post, as a matter of fact. And I brought my Washington Post in with me today. It's full of hilarious things. And they too are very, very corrupt people. Each of the individuals there, with maybe one or two exceptions. And they've got the big story today. The Democrats are ruining Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, because they hate America. And they want to destroy the economy in the downtown area and make it unlivable in Washington, D.C., and then raise everybody's taxes again. The owner of the Washington Capitals, the hockey team, and the Wizards, the NBA, the professional basketball team, they had a press conference yesterday with Republican Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin announcing that the two professional sports teams would leave Washington, D.C. They normally play, right now they play downtown on 7th Street at the big Capital One Arena. And it's the life of the neighborhood. All the restaurants and the businesses depend on the sports stadium there for their business, And they're choked because of the crime and the carjackings and the muggings and the shootings and the drugs and the lunatics that they let loose after arresting them. The police just stop arresting people because they know they're just going to be let go before they finish the paperwork. And the Democrats do this because they love crime and criminals. This is the Democrat Party. So the big headline in the Washington Post today is deal would move Caps, Wizards to Virginia. Many hurdles for $2 billion proposal. A coup for Youngkin on handshake agreement. Yeah, real men go with handshake agreements all the time. Don't worry about it. That's what gentlemen do. They're unfamiliar with the concept at the Washington Post because, and front page of the Metro sectional, that was the A-sectional. Some of them are A-sectional. Some of them are Metro sectional. Bowser's approach draws scrutiny. Last minute $500 million offer, not enough. Everything's a shakedown. And Bowser, our dim-witted, corrupt mayor, is say, hey, wait a minute, they're gonna take the sports teams, the Capitals and the Wizards out of D.C. What if we give them $500 million of other people's money at the last minute because she was off in, the UAE talking about the weather, right? She was talking about the climate because little Washington, D.C. is going to change the trajectory of the climate on planet Earth. You know how that goes. Amazing. And also Metro sectional. picture of downtown, which is now having the life choked out of it because the Democrats ruin everything they touch. The headline is, a bruised downtown fears loss of income, pride if two teams leave D.C. But this is what Democrats do. Look what they've done to Seattle and Portland and San Francisco and Los Angeles and New York and Chicago. The Democrats destroy everything they touch. Everything they touch. So we got that going. Also, this is a pretty wild one. And I'm going to get into the Hunter Biden stuff, too, because Hunter Biden, we played the audio yesterday on the big radio broadcast because Hunter Biden came out and had his crazy conference while we were on the air yesterday. And we turned around the audio. That's big-time radio talk there, and played it for you yesterday. And good stuff. And there's more to tell. And I want to share that with you, update you, because the left and they're all radicals now, like Eric Swalwell. Did you see Eric Swalwell, who had the longtime sexual affair with the communist Chinese agent named Fang Fang, which is, not a character from Get Smart, but a real character in American politics, communist Chinese spy, honeypot. Santon was having sex with a city councilman in Dublin, California. Shepherded his career to Washington, D.C. as a member of Congress as a Democrat and a member of the intelligence community because the Democrats are not on our side. Well, Eric Swalwell was out there pre-positioned to greet Hunter Biden and escort him over to the microphones. I assume that his Chinese masters told him to be out there to greet Hunter. And I've got some audio for you today. I have a great attorney for one of the whistleblowers, one of the IRS whistleblowers. And he was on the television this morning, and I want to share that with you because he throws a couple of things out that are pretty serious stuff. You bet your bottom dollar. And where's your bottom? It's your last dollar. Don't be silly. And Hollywood is pitching in now. Hollywood wants to help with our social ills, our social woes. I've been telling you about that awful, horrible, terrible 2.5 hour long, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, that Barack Obama, Michelle Obama movie on Netflix. It may be the most horrible movie ever made. It may be the biggest waste of film in the history of Hollywood, and that'd be pretty tough. But it's all, and the ending is the stupidest ending that has ever been. Did you watch it? Oh, Michael, watch it now. And it is am I right? It's the dumbest ending in the history of the world. It's like, why did I just spend any time watching this idiotic Barack Obama? I hate America. You're a racist. Needs to be destroyed. The whole world gangs up on America because we're so terrible and destroys everything. And really what it's about, these pathetic scenes where like, oh, I can't live without my cell phone and my GPS. And he was having a mental breakdown because he didn't have his cell phone and his GPS. Maybe you should know where you are and where you're going. Don't worry about it. But never mind that. They've got a new one. I don't think Barack Obama has anything to do with this one. But there is a movie coming out. You know what, Michael? We're going to share this today. We want to share this on the Twitter and the Facebook and all that, so people can see the trailer for this Hollywood movie, a major Hollywood motion picture coming out in the spring. They're already promoting it. It's barely winter. They're already promoting it. And we have the trailer for you. The movie is called Civil War. It's a simple but elegant title. Now you're thinking, oh, is it a historical drama? No. It's about next year when the United States of America is thrust into civil war. And it's, the left, it's just like the Barack Obama movie. It's what they want for America. Total collapse, implosion, attacked by the world. Have our technology taken away that we created and gifted to the world. You're welcome. Civil War trailer looks like a weaponized panic attack. And that's exactly why I can't wait to see it, is the headline on the review. They, honestly, they're not going to be happy until. Pretty amazing stuff. Yes, sir. California and Texas wage war with the U.S. Army as American landmarks fall. They blow up the Lincoln Memorial. It's kind of a Democrat Party wish list movie. But be careful what you wish for. Just saying. And speaking of racists, Michelle Wu. She's the Democrat leftist Harvard grad mayor of Boston, Mass. And boy, is she a racist. And her pronoun-toting spokesmodel doubled down, as they say, on their racist invitation to their non-Christmas party. It's more of a Satan-worshiping party. But I've got an update for you on the Democrat racists in Boston. It's just one slice of the racist pie. Yes, sir. And what did Bill Clinton say about Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign in 2016? I can't use all the words here, but I'll try to communicate what he said. We are at 888-630-9625. Hey, it's Chris Plant. Excited to tell you about our July 2024 Listener Sea Cruise. We'll be sailing around the British Isles, visiting Scotland and Ireland. Please join us. Visit chrisplantcruise.com. Okay. Yeah, I love the racist Democrat mayor of Boston, Mass. She's a Harvard grad, you know. And she hates the whites, which is very fashionable with the left now. I'm thinking about taking away the electricity. I'm thinking about like doing a partial Gaza on the left. What do you think? Take away clean drinking water and electricity. Don't have to bomb the hospitals or anything. But let's take a phone call. Let's go to Danny calling from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Danny, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. This thing with the Capitals and the Wizards, Ted Leonsis wanted to shake down Mayor Bowser for $600 million for improvements to a 25-year-old building. Hang here with me. I'll get back to you on that. He's willing to spend $400 million of his money so that the people of Virginia can spend $1.6 billion to cover the $2 billion project. And, of course, the governor, it's not going to cost you a dime. Well, yeah, Glenn, it is, because you don't have any money. The money you're going to spend is tax money, so you're getting it from somewhere. So it is going to cost the people something. Now, I worked over there for 2 years on the metro station that they built. There's a lot of folks over there that didn't even want that because they were afraid of the element coming across the river. I get that, too. I heard on another station, a sports station, that they've got the same problem out in Ashburn because of Metro. Now, the thing is, why doesn't Ted spend his $400 million in D.C., have Muriel bankroll $200 million? Because he wants to keep the Mystics, who can't even put 30% in that building, and Georgetown, and run this other gig over in Virginia.
Yeah, you might think he's a capitalist. They would call him a greedy capitalist. Yeah, there are a lot of big problems with running his operation in downtown D.C. this day because of Democrats. A little strange brew. Look what's inside of you. I can see why other shows would steal our music. This is the great Mike McKay music library that we use. And we've added a few along the way, but the overwhelming preponderance, the Mike McKay, the late great Mike McKay used to sit in the studio with us, and greatest music, old rock and roll DJ 101 and all that stuff. But let me get to some crazy Democrat news because, you know, it's the Christmas season, and it's the Hanukkah season, and it's the jihad season. The Democrats are more interested in supporting the jihad than Christmas and certainly Hanukkah. They sure don't like Hanukkah. You know, I'm wondering about this Michelle Wu, the Democrat left-wing radical extremist Harvard grad mayor of Boston, Mass., who's a Democrat and a left-wing extremist and a Harvard grad. Just like those are important points when it comes to summing her up. And they're having their no white people holiday party. It's not a Christmas party. It's a holiday party. And it's kind of funny that they call it a holiday party, since I'm sure they're not inviting Jews, right? It's Boston, and that's where you find Harvard. And they sent out the the email and accidentally sent the invite to white people. Oops, who sent this to the white people? And I've got an update on that, but I assume that because they look at Jews and they say white people, so no Jews but still they call it a holiday party. I guess they could be inviting Muslims to their holiday party, who they wouldn't consider to be white people, because they think that Islam is a race. Islam is not a race. It's a religion. So we got that. Now, I was telling you about the Democrats in Iowa the other day with their Satan display in the State House, because the Democrats love Satan, especially at Christmas time. And USA Today put out a story, disgusting, in quotation marks, satanic temple display at state capitol in Iowa sparks free speech debate. See, now they're into free speech when it comes to supporting Satan in the public square. Now, if you're a high school football coach and you want to take a knee after a football game with your team and say a prayer, then they will battle you, they will fire you. They will take you all the way to the Supreme Court, demanding that you must not pray in public because, right? They are Rosemary's Baby brought to life, these people. And I told you about this story a couple of days ago, and the Democrats, they're not on the side of anything good anymore. They used to be okay a long time ago. Now they're out of their minds. But I've got a new update for you. Here's the headline, not in the Washington Post, but in the Daily Mail. Out of Tennessee, of all places, outraged parents and church leaders criticize new Satanic Temple after-school club due to start at an elementary school in January, saying, quote, Satan has no room in this district. I've got a plan for this. I have a fix, because the courts have ruled that Satan worship is a religion. Therefore, Satan worship, which the Democrats do, has the same legal protections, constitutional protections that Christianity, Judaism, Islam have as a religion. And it's all Democrats, every single one of them. Now, the Satanic Temple set to host an after-school club at a Tennessee school. Parents and local leaders are furious that it's been allowed to go ahead. But the school district says the Satanic Temple has the right to host events. And the courts in the United States have ruled that the Satanic Temple has the right of the religious protections of the First Amendment. So Democrats jump on the Satan bandwagon because they're bloodthirsty ghouls also. That's one of the reasons they love Hamas and hate Israel. Parents and local leaders are outraged at a new Satanic Temple after-school club going for the kids again. You know, you got the transgender twerking for kindergarten and got the gender dysphoria classes for first graders and, you know, all that good stuff. And the parents, because it's Tennessee and not Montgomery County, Maryland, where I think a lot of them would applaud this, set to start running sessions at a Tennessee elementary school in January. The Satanic Temple is set to host an after-school club at Chimney Rock Elementary School in Cordova, just outside of Memphis, in January. A flyer about the club says the Satanic Temple is a non-theistic religion. Now, how can you be a non-theistic religion? That's oxymoronic. They use the words, but they don't know what they mean. Of course, it's fake and everything, but never mind that. They still want to worship the Dark Lord that views Satan as a literary figure, from the Bible, who represents the metaphorical construct of rejecting tyranny. Yeah, that's what Satan does. He rejects tyranny. And championing the human mind and spirit. That sounds like the Democrat Party, doesn't it? You know why? Because it is. It called on elementary school-age children to have fun at after-school Satan Club. Here's the flyer right here. Have fun at after-school. Hey, kids, let's have fun at after-school Satan Club. The Satanic Temple. This is an actual flyer, and it has a rainbow of, because you got to work the rainbow in there, because LGBTQ Satan. And it's a rainbow of pencils, of sharpened pencils, that could be used to stab your teacher in the neck as you go, ha, 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 make your tongue flapping around and all that stuff. So that's just have fun. Says, do not attempt to convert children to any religious ideology, but offers activities that emphasize scientific, rationalistic, non-superstitious worldview. Oh, really? That's what Satan does? Non-superstitious, rationalist worldview. Memphis Shelby County Schools, the school district in charge of Chimney Rock, said in a statement that the district would rent out the space to the organization per its policy. And this is a legal issue, and it has gone through the courts. And because the courts have said they can do it, Democrats do it. Republicans don't. Conservatives don't. We don't worship Satan and then lie to you about. So what's the key thing about Satan is that he lies. See, and now they're lying to the children. No, we're not theistic. It's just a temple and a religion that's non-theistic. So we got that. Chimney Rock Elementary, sponsored by the Satanic Temple and the Reason Alliance. Sure. And it says on the flyer, this activity is not endorsed or sponsored by Memphis Shelby County Schools. That's good. And it's got a start time of 4:30, and it's in the library, an end time of 5:30. Be sure to bring your pitchfork because Democrats are going to be there. That's your Democrat Party. They are not on the side of reason, are they? No, they're not. Not on the side of reason at all. Amazing. Speaking of not being on the side of reason, this is kind of funny. It's too bad we didn't get this yesterday on Hump Day, because Hump Day is a big day in the Clinton household, as you know. And the story in the New York Post, they got an advance copy of a book that is coming out. And the book that is coming out talks about Bill Clinton and what Bill Clinton had to say about Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign. You may recall that she lost to Donald Trump. And you may recall that Hillary Clinton said that it was stolen from her. Remember when Hillary Clinton said that the election was stolen from her because she was the best candidate, she ran the best campaign, but still somebody stole it from her.
You can run the best campaign.
She sounds like Satan.
You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
I love that the crowd cheers. Yay! Woo! My favorite part is not Hillary's dementia, but the dementia of the crowd that had gathered there to cheer, you can have the election stolen from you. See, that they like. That they're in favor of. They're good with that. That's something to be cheered and applauded. Now, I have to clean this up, but the headline in the New York Post, advance copy of a book coming out, Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign, quote, could not sell, expletive deleted, on a troop train. Now, the word that is deleted here begins with P and ends with Y and sounds like wussy. And Bill Clinton said that Hillary Clinton's campaign could not sell that on a troop train, a train full of 20-year-old young men going into combat. Husband Bill lamented, according to new book. And it's pretty amazing stuff. NBC Fake News had a story on it, too, because they got the advance copy of the book. Former President Bill Clinton privately criticized his wife Hillary's failed 2016 presidential campaign, complaining to a friend that it couldn't sell beep on a troop train, according to a new book.
Sometimes I wish we weren't married, then I could say what I really think.
That's true. That's how Bill Clinton really feels. At least according to our edit of what Bill Clinton said, which is sometimes I wish that that's pretty close, though, isn't it?
It was only for time. Tonight, my job is to introduce Hillary. Sometimes when I'm on a stage like this, I wish we weren't married, then I could say what I really think.
She gave him a leer that would cut through a bank vault. But never mind that. The 42nd president's complaint, that's Bill Clinton, was specifically aimed at the Hillary Clinton campaign's heavy use of identity politics. No kidding. Attempting to paint Senator Bernie Sanders, the radical extremist leftist socialist, calls himself a democratic socialist. He honeymooned in the Soviet Union. Bernie Sanders' policies as sexist and racist in op-ed ghosts written by advocacy groups as the former Secretary of State battled the socialist lawmaker for the Democratic presidential nomination. Remember that Hillary Clinton almost lost to Bernie Sanders, a Bolshevik. The Democratic Party needs to be disbanded. But wait till you see, the Hollywood is pushing for this civil war. They want to see a civil war. The book says, to the extent that the campaign tactic moved the needle at all, it likely pushed moderate voters, paying only marginal attention to the campaign, toward Bernie Sanders, who spoke like a normal person, while Clinton began ascending into what her ally, James Carville, would later call a faculty lounge speak, which is what she sounded like. Journalist Ryan Grimm writes in The Squad, AOC, and the Hope of a Political Revolution. Ryan Grimm is a radical left-wing extremist. I think he lays down in traffic in the morning. And The Squad, we should probably sue him for a copyright infringement. My television show on Newsmax is called The Right Squad. And these guys, the radical left squad over here. It was released last week, the new book. Former President Bill Clinton surveying the landscape and the ham-handed efforts. That's culturally insensitive, don't you think, to Jews and Muslims to say ham-handed efforts. At Identity Politics was bereft, lamenting to longtime friend in the fall of 2016 that Hillary's campaign could not sell beep on a troop train. That's an interesting turn of phrase. I don't actually think I've ever heard that turn of phrase before, but leave it to Bill Clinton, I think, to come up with a phrase like that one.
Support the Me Too movement, and I think it's long overdue.
Yeah, that's funny. The Pound Me Too movement, he thinks it's long overdue. He's in favor of it because he thinks that'll get him chicks. That's, yeah, I'm in favor of that because, hey. Oh, speaking of which, the Monica Lewinsky event is coming up in Frederick soon, isn't it? When is that? That's very...
January.
Oh, it's in January. It's not this month. I thought it was this month. Yeah, so there it is. Hillary Clinton, who edged out Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary race, but lost to Donald Trump in the general election, has acknowledged that she didn't run a, quote, perfect campaign, end quote, but has also blamed her defeat on misogyny. That's right. Russian interference. Sure, the Russians. And the FBI investigation of her use of private email servers while heading the State Department, and then the destruction of 33,000 emails that were under subpoena by the Congress. Bleach bit, remember? What, like with a cloth or something? No, with bleach bit, criminal. That's what we're talking about. So a couple of Democrat Party stories. They love Satan, and nobody loves Hillary, including and maybe especially her husband. Are they still married? It's always been a sham, obviously. Please, look at his history. She married him, he married her. Well, I guess every decision can't be a good decision. We are at 888-630-9625. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, vote in the House of Representatives to proceed with an impeachment inquiry. Has the news media wetting their beds again, like James Carville. Kamala Harris, Rashida Tlaib, radical Islamic jihadis, and Eric Swalwell. 888-630-9625. Yeah, what do you hear the media take on Hunter Biden's yesterday performance and the propaganda machine of the Democrat Party, including the dementos on late-night TV who are as ignorant as they appear to be? I'll straighten them out on a few things. Just stay right there. So we've got that. And Rashida Tlaib, she explains, from the river to the sea, what that means, she explains. She's a lion Sacagawea, but I'll straighten it out for her, too. A lot of people are truth challenged in the city of Washington. I like to help in that regard. Let's go to the telephones first. Let's go to Mike calling from Sunshine, Maryland, which sounds very nice, doesn't it? It's called Sunshine, Maryland. Michael, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Chris, thanks for taking my call. Mayor Wu, if she had a party for whites only, that would be, ugly and heads would explode. And whenever you flip the coin over and it's ugly, you're dealing with Marxism, because you can't have a party for oppressor whites, but you can have a party for the oppressed BIPOC, right? Same way with graduations at colleges. You can have a graduation for blacks and Hispanics, but you can't have a whites-only graduation. And my final thought is that, she believes that the cure for the ills of tribalism is more tribalism. And that is a mistake, and it is going to ruin this country.
Well, that's why it's not a mistake. That's why we know that it's their goal, that it's deliberate. This is not just ignorant racism. This is racism with a purpose. It is the left. The Democratic Party isn't, and they're not liberals. They're leftists. The leftists are here to tear the country apart and to tear it down. That's what that Barack Obama movie is about on Netflix. That's what this upcoming Civil War movie is about. I want to play the audio of the trailer for you. I love the use of BIPOC. That's great. And you're right. They have racially segregated graduations on these college campuses where you got today is black-only graduation because they're segregationists. They always have been. Joe Biden is. They're the party of racial segregation. Woodrow Wilson, progressive Democrat president, segregationist, racist, promoter of the KKK. The Democrat Party gave us the KKK and Jim Crow. And you're right to identify it as Marxism, too. It's race, class, and gender used to divide and balkanize, not just polarize, but balkanize the country, to tear us down, to tear us apart, to pit us against each other, because the left is here, and they are vicious, and they are divisive. They're here to destroy America, and they own the Democrat Party, which owns the media landscape. Fortunately, I've got a few things to say about it.